off every printer.
Exactly.
Millennials are keeping the U.S. out of recession, market bull Tony Dwyer says. So millennials are playing a vital role in Tony Dwyer's bullish case for stocks. He says the Canaccord Genuity chief market strategist believes the demographics' robust spending is lowering recession risks. So that's interesting. It's a really big deal, he says, on CNBC. The peak birth year.
So millennial consumer spending.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Consumer spending. And last week we talked about the average age that millennials are starting their home purchase, which is beyond what it was previously. So there's a number of things, both that affect the general economy and the housing market, but the peak birth year in the millennials is almost as big as the peak birth year of the baby boomer generation.
Ooh, okay.
So he's saying because of that, even though millennials were sort of debt averse previously, with the economy being strong, with unemployment being low, they're comfortable increasing their spending now. So that's pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny that you started off with millennials because I have an article that also touches on millennials, and it ties into something that I've researched a little bit over the course of the last couple of weeks. And I think it was Apartment Survey or something like that. They did a poll, and they found that only 4.9% of millennials who want to buy a home think they'll be successful in the next year. So there's a lot of skepticism about them actually succeeding in becoming homeowners. All the usual suspects: student loan debt, high cost of entry in a lot of areas, saving for a down payment. What I've observed, though, is that a lot of these individuals, millennials, and I'm sure it ties into what you're talking about there, when they go to buy a house, they go into an industry that is relatively complex, and I think a lot of them are unaccustomed to asking simple questions. In other words, hey, how does your industry work? How do I get a good deal on this? What do I need to know? A lot of the millennials that I work with are fairly accomplished despite their young age in what they do for a profession, and it doesn't always carry over to everything else. In other words, I encourage them to ask questions and you know, even go out on a limb and feel a little bit embarrassed or maybe like they're asking a silly question, because it's important that they know the basics.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you know, there's been a lot of articles about millennials as to whether or not millennials will save the day with respect to both the housing market and then the general economy, Nam, as you just pointed out. But then there's almost as many articles saying, nah, not going to happen. They're going to sit it out. They won't be buying houses because they're really not into buying things. They're into renting things.
Because they're transient.
Well, it's part of the rental economy. I mean, why buy a boat when you can rent a boat? Why buy a car when you can use Uber? Why buy a house when you can Airbnb or rent?
So why buy a wife when you
rent an office when you can WeWork?
All right, so the you know, you look at that, and I know all real estate is local, and we are real estate centric here. We talk about a lot of it, but you know, here in the Bay Area, what I find across my clientele, especially the younger set, is it's really hard to get ahead if you don't own real estate. Okay, so if you think you're gonna, you know, just get some sort of equity event or payout or whatever from your company, great. I hope you do. But for the rest of us, you know, if you don't have real estate on your balance sheet, man, it's hard to get ahead because Bay Area cost of living traditionally is not going anywhere.
Just put it all in Bitcoin.
Well, you can talk a little bit about that for this year, right? What's happened to Bitcoin year over year? But man, you gotta be in the game.
Yeah, even if real estate is not appreciating, or if you don't believe real estate is going to appreciate in the next couple of years, and maybe we're at the top of the market, and I am talking with realtors who are saying, hey, the market is softening, it's changing right now in San Francisco and Southern Marin and other wealthier communities. But that being said, you know, when you buy real estate, you're buying it, you're putting equity in it, right? And then you're using debt, and that debt has tax benefits.
And every payment that you make, theoretically, you're paying down the loan.
Right. So it's a forced savings plan for you. Your mortgage is, assuming you don't have an interest-only mortgage, which most of us nowadays do not have, since they're hard to get. You know, and your real estate is, you know, we're not yet, at least as far as any statistics show, we're not in a depreciating real estate market yet. Prices per square foot in most Bay Area markets are still kind of straddling. They're about even right now, but they have yet to decline, and maybe we'll see some declining in the next couple of months as the numbers, historical price per square footage come out for, say, August and September.
And we're going into that time.
And we're going to that time, right? Exactly. But But yes, real estate is still, even in the market we're in right now, if you can buy it, you should buy it.
Well, I also think that you look at a lot of buyers, or you look at people coming into the market now thinking about buying that have had the ability to buy in the past. Let's say they sat on their hands in 2013 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen in our lifetime recently, it's getting further in the rearview mirror, but we've seen probably one of the toughest real estate events and corrections that I think any of us are going to see. And it's behind us now, and you look at people that have straddled that, the decisions they made have a profound impact on where they are today, especially if they've been renting the whole time in the Bay Area, because it hasn't gotten any easier in
as long as
either.
unemployment stays low and people's wages are rising, that'll help for the real estate market.
Well, you just hit 2 of the 10. I've got a 10
Oh, I'm
reasons to
sorry.
buy in California. No, it's all tying in.
Did I steal your thunder?
It's pretty cool that we've touched on all this, except I don't know what we're going to talk about for the next 45 minutes. No, but it's 10 reasons to buy a California home sooner rather than later.
Okay. And we're going to get
Pick it up on the next one. Cool.
Yeah, because we got to cut to a commercial break here. All right, we're talking baseball nicknames, right? First trivia question is, which baseball team was known as the Gas House Gang?
Oh yeah, right.
You know this one, right?
No, I know. Gas House. You always go for those like 1930s.
Yes!
baseball teams.
Very good. This is the 1930s.
So that narrows it down a little bit.
Oh, so, I mean, you're limited to...
Not the Houston Astros.
No, exactly. That's right. You're limited to
Or
like
the
20
Washington
teams.
Nationals.
No. Okay, call 888-912-1190. Be the first caller with the correct answer. You'll win that tanning certificate. Question is, which baseball team was known as the Gas House Gang? And stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. We're going to be right back. All right. So that's pretty good. 1930s. It's actually 20s and 30s. So that's good. We'll give you half credit for that one.
I know, I'm thinking of Gas House. What does that like relate to?
I don't have any idea on that one.
What
Well,
is it-
you
what is
wouldn't
a Gas
know it
House?
from, I mean, you wouldn't know it like Houston Astros, Astrodome. I mean,
Right.
but you wouldn't know it from that. That wouldn't make any sense.
I'm trying to know what a gas house is.
That's true. Yeah, what is a gas house?
Gas station. Just what it was called back then.
Gotta go to the gas house and fill up
Like the ice box.
the ice box.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was growing up, I had an uncle, great uncle, who always called it, go to the ice box and get us a couple of beers.
I remember, I think watching an old Three Stooges.
beer. I'm
they-
too young to drink it.
Ice house.
In the old days, right, before they had refrigerators, they used to just have it was an ice
It was
box,
an ice
right?
box,
It was
yeah.
a big block of
Yeah,
ice.
lower
The guy
ice.
would have those little tongs, right? And so like that, it was I think it was a Three Stooges episode where Curly gets it out of the van,
Yeah.
and he's going to walk up like 6 flights of stairs by the time he gets to the ice cube.
It's a little ice cube. Most guys don't even get the
Look what happened!
Yeah, let me have those clamps.
Yeah,
Bird brains.
I still love that show.
Oh, that's the best.
All right. Ready for round two.
Okay. You get into your...
Let's just jump into that. Pick up piggyback.
10 reasons to do something.
I want to just make a quick mention here for this, and then that's the only thing we got. Ready? Go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. Edward Brown here along with Mark Namfon and Rob Spinoza. Hike. First trivia question. Which baseball team was known as the Gas House Gang?
We're all scratching
Blank
our
looks.
noggins here.
The
Chicago.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
In the 30s, yeah. The
What is
next
a gas house?
I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. I have gas once in a while, but that's not the same thing. Okay.
Anytime you visit Edward's house.
Thanks a lot. Okay, we want to make a mention here for the Urban Tavern, which is located near Union Square. They celebrate local food and beer scene with seasonal menus and more than a dozen Bay Area crafts on tap. And if you go there with your game day logo, like professional sports gear, buy one, get one game day drink deal free. Pretty good. Check them out. Urban Tavern, that's near San Francisco Union Square. All right, let's see, Rob,
Hey.
10 things you want to share.
So
with us.
Mark was, I think it was Mark, was saying, we were talking about attributes of buying a home now. You were talking about unemployment, low unemployment, wages, and those are some of the things that are listed. I have an article here 10 reasons to buy a California home sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Number 1, bosses are hiring. Number 2, wages are up. Number 3, low rates are not forever. 4, lenders are lending. And then it goes on. Mark talks a little bit about price appreciation is cooling. Multiple offers are also out of style. I don't know if I agree with some of those, but what I will tell you is that this is a conversation I have frequently with clients, because when rates get better, you would think people would be happy about that, but instead what tends to take over is a sense of greed. Because is it going to go lower
It's a
still?
trend.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's been so much news about negative interest rates. There's been so much news about Fed rate cuts, and all this kind of fuels this idea that, hey, I can wait. And when we have this conversation, one of the things I talk about is it doesn't happen in a vacuum. So we're in a time right now where you've got prices kind of, a buyer can go out there and can negotiate. That wasn't happening a few years ago.
Right.
You've got low rates, you've got credit capacity, and you've got some inventory finally. So, I mean, these things don't always converge, and buyers should be aware of the fact that this is an opportunity that may not come around that way again for
Are you
some
saying
time.
that the planets are aligning?
Yeah, I mean,
Planets are like, I agree with Ron.
I think Marianne Williamson would go along with that, right? She was in the Democratic debate. Come on,
So is
everyone.
anybody asking you,
I
Rob,
thought
is
you were
any-
talking the fifth dimension, Aquarius and all that. Okay.
Kind of.
so Rob, is anybody asking you whether, should I buy now or should I wait for prices to come down in the next couple of years?
Yeah.
'Cause it looks like we're going into a recession and blah, blah, blah.
And yes, they are asking that question, but I go back to what I was just talking about here. I mean, you can't control what you don't control, and that's what happens with those situations. So if we ended up in a recession again, nobody can tell me for sure, nobody can tell them for sure what sort of credit capacity would be there. I mean, last time we had a recession, we saw a big restriction in credit capacity.
Right.
Yeah. And
That's just
also,
it. Like it'd be really easy for someone to say, yeah, I bought my house in 2006 and I lost my shirt. It took forever to get that equity back. Well, you probably couldn't have bought that house in 2009
Right.
because maybe
Exactly.
you didn't qualify
Right. Right.
for
Good point.
the cheap and easy money that we were
Well,
getting.
and Mark, you've always said you can always make money in real estate. You just got to buy it at the right time.
Right, whether the
Right,
market's going
Up
up,
or down, yeah.
down, or sideways, you can always make money in real estate. Now, and again, if you're looking for a place to live, it's you're not looking to make money, but as a long-term investment and with the tax benefits you get from owning real estate, which I know they've been diminished a little bit with the 2018 Tax Act, but still, by and large, in terms of investments, buying your own home versus renting is always a better deal.
Now, you guys deal, Mark, Edward, you guys deal with investors frequently. I mean, that's the core of your business. So I would make a case that the real estate trends are even more, how would you put it, ruthless for investors, because you really got to be willing to put money in when there's blood in the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times you have to buck the trend to make money on investments. We see some people thinking about investments with a primary home mentality, and it almost never works. You got to look at it like an investment for a lot of other reasons.
Right, and what also is interesting is I've heard some people say, I can't wait for the next recession because I'm going to put my money aside and I'm going to go out there and get those buying opportunities. Foreclosures will be back up,
Sure.
etc. Everybody is saying that. So
Right,
I don't
right.
necessarily think that. I think again, supply and demand, especially in California. We're not talking about what's going to happen in Georgia or Las Vegas
Right.
or Ohio. We're talking about the San Francisco Bay Area, California. There's not enough added supply. There's just not going to be a fire sale of real estate in California.
Well, here's the
in my
other thing is that, so it starts a recession. When does it end?
Well, thank you.
It's like, when do you go back?
You
when
just
do you go
simply,
in?
yeah, you
You could
exactly.
be waiting around forever.
Yeah.
But this plays into the herd mentality I was talking about with interest rates, because now you've got almost historic lows and people are waiting for them to go lower. Some people are making a decision
Right.
based on that. They can't support it with any kind of sort of factual information. But what I saw during the last downturn is that when the school of fish turned, they all turned at once. Nobody wanted to buy. That's why prices
Yeah.
continued to fall. But some investors swooped in at that time. They did make the commitment to that, and they ended up coming out ahead.
Right, and that was a rare confluence of events.
Correct.
People who didn't spend all their capital, that had liquidity, that had the ability to swoop in and buy homes at foreclosure sale prices for 60 cents on the dollar or whatever
Well,
people thought they were getting prices for. But
Yeah.
that's just that, how likely is that to happen again in the next round?
And to be honest, when 2009, 10, 11 hit, I was kind of doing the same thing. I was going,
Everybody
I'm a little nervous about being excited about buying something now, thinking, is this going to go lower? Or
Right,
did I
yeah.
hit it close to the bottom? That's tough.
Well, and it's interesting that we started out talking about the article about how millennials and their buying expected buying habits might continue to keep this economy growing. I think what's happening in the media is everyone's scratching and clawing for predictions as to where we're going. Is there going to be a recession that starts in 2020? Almost everybody's saying doesn't look like it now. Looks like we're now looking in 2021.
I've heard that same thing.
Yeah, and so it's when is it going to start? What's going to start it? Is it going to be a general economic recession first, followed by a real estate recession, or will there be a real estate recession first, followed by? I mean, who knows? And,
Well, I also think what this time around is tying in with a greater degree of influence on our economy is the global economy and
Yep.
the how we are intertwined now with China and Europe and what's happening over there. I mean, this plays over into our politics as well. Make no mistake about it. I mean, this is all coming together. And what we were talking about before, where whatever happens may not look identical to what last happened. And I think buyers, home buyers, investors, whatever your stripe, you've got to be prepared to take different things into consideration.
yeah, overall, general economic conditions are looking pretty good. No one that I respect, whose opinion I respect, is forecasting an imminent recession. But that being said, it's just as likely to be a black swan event that occurs out there, a trade war, something that happens with China, than it will be just a general economic cycle that causes the next downturn.
I don't know where they got that term, black swan. Is
I
it
don't
just
know either.
Yeah.
Is it most swans are white and so a black one kind of is an outlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. All right, guys, got to our second commercial break. Again, your favorite subject, baseball team nicknames.
From the 1930s.
Yeah.
No, this one's a little
And
bit
before.
later.
Okay.
This we'll even give you a hint. This is probably from the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
Which baseball team was known as the Boys of Summer?
Oh, wow.
You probably know this one. All right, call 888-912-1190. Be the first one with the... No, you don't know that one?
No idea.
Well, you will have heard of the team. Okay. I'll give you a hint.
I know the
they're
song.
They're not around anymore.
Come on, you're narrowing it down now. I got
You know
a
it,
horse
right?
in the race. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Call 888-912-1190. Be the first caller with the correct answer. You win that tanning certificate. Which baseball team was known as the Boys of Summer? You better get the next trivia question. That's all I can say. All right, stay with us. The best of investing. We'll be right back.
If we want, another article I have is also housing and housing stock. If we want to
All right,
continue on
we'll
that
get into
thread.
You want to talk about housing stock? From
Housing
the
stock?
Washington Post.
Yeah.
What do they know? They're a liberal paper.
Exactly. Get the Washington Times.
Democracy Time. No, I actually pay the $9 a month to be able to read the articles on my app.
Some good articles.
Yeah.
Washington Post is great.
I like the Washington Times.
You know the one. You know what's my favorite blog now? I just subscribed to it. Is Inman. I had never bothered to
Oh,
pay
yeah,
for it
it's
before.
good,
So I always
good.
thought it was, it's stupid. It's too expensive. Why would I pay? But I pay for Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and now Inman. And Inman's got like the best real estate articles. I
And
had one
they-
today that talked about iBuyers and the iBuyer inventory and how iBuyers are going up with their app to open the door, and there's people, squatters in there. Yeah, it's an issue with
Jeez.
squatting now, and they're just waiting for the first person to get killed or knifed by a squatter in an iBuyer home. Because homeless people have phones and they can get the app and they can open up the house and go in and squat. That's what the whole thing about iBuyer.
Oh, wow. That's something good to talk about.
Airbnb on the cheaps.
That was today's article.
You ever wonder though? I mean, like when they were in the founding Uber. I mean, all of the risk that you take. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
who would get in a car with not know the driver?
Yeah,
It's
like a taxi.
Exactly.
Or, buying online. I remember the big thing was, you can't trust anything to buy online. Yeah.
Dating online, and come on, it's like all this stuff. But then they'll figure out how to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
The iBuyer thing. Yeah.
Just booby trap the house. Okay, ready? There we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Nampon and Rob Spinoza. Second trivia question. Which baseball team was known as the Boys of Summer?
I would say the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, very good.
Nice. That was good.
Good, you got that one. And the next one, I think you guys will get. Okay. Of course, I always say that. No, we'll continue on, please.
Yeah. So we're talking about the economy and housing. I have another article related. It's from the Washington Post. It says, economists identify an unseen force holding back affordable housing.
The force.
Unseen force.
May it be with you.
May the force be with us.
So it starts out by saying, when the smoke cleared after the Great Recession, the home builders who survived were in a surprisingly strong position. They have fewer competitors and more power in their local markets. They have since built on that advantage, consolidating until many markets are controlled by just a few builders.
Makes sense.
So their power has exacerbated the country's affordable housing crisis. U.S. Housing debates rarely involve the O word, but oligopolies, a cousin of monopolies, in which few powerful players corner the market, are emerging everywhere. So they're saying that because there's fewer home builders out there, they're controlling inventory, pricing, and availability of housing
and
stock.
the type of houses that are being built. Because the other thing I hear about with building is the proportion of luxury homes versus your standard entry-level homes has changed over the course of the last decade.
Yeah, what they're saying too is that, and this is a macro, it's not just California, but there could be a shortage of an additional 150,000 units per year just because there's less competition.
So it's not just California that's under building housing stock. It's according to the Washington Post, it's national.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then another article that an economist was tracking the stock value of these builders and saying they're just through the roof right now, literally.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting, just another thing to
Unintended.
say in terms of reasons to buy.
Yeah.
Housing stock, at least for new builds, isn't going to be jumping, a lot in the next few years, just because these builders are holding back on the volume.
I mean, I remember when buying a house for $120 a foot was normal. Now it's $1,000
Yeah.
a foot. Yeah.
Well, you also wonder how the trade war will play out with the cost of material and how that will impact builders and what sort of changes to their business model will make as a result of that if it continues. I'm not an expert in that. I don't know the economics of the home building industry, but that has to be a factor in their decision going forward into 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
In all of the housing projects that you read about in the Bay Area now, most of them are highly dense, multi-unit, transit-oriented type of housing stock. And the good news is that they're actually proposing to build thousands of units. But the better news, I think, for single-family homeowners and investors, and those of us who would rather own a home with a lot and a yard rather than live in some dense multi-unit apartment type of or condo type of complex, is really still the supply and demand factor of it. If there just isn't going to be much new supply coming on of single-family residential homes in California, what's the likelihood of a price drop anywhere near what we experienced in 2007 through 2010? I just don't know how it could possibly happen unless something of an economic calamity so severe happened that it doesn't really matter what you own, everything's going to suffer.
Yeah. All right, guys, want to shift over here for email time. Mark and Nam, question comes in, where can I learn more about trust deed investing?
Rochambeau for that answer?
Yeah.
Come to us.
Come to Pacific Private Money. Go to pacificprivatemoney.com. Well, the questions, where can I learn more about trust deed investing? First, a caveat. Trust deed investing is, a definition.
I was just going to ask you,
what is trust deed?
What is trust deed investing?
So it's called trust deed investing in California. It's really mortgage note investing or note investing. It's basically investing in a privately funded with your money or your money and a bunch of other people's money fractionally, or you fund the whole note yourself. And it's called trust deed investing because in California we don't actually have mortgages, we have deeds of trust, and so they're also called trust deeds or deeds of trust. So trust deed investing is what it's generally called, which is the activity of using your money and investing in a mortgage-backed or deed of trust-backed promissory note secured by real estate. And so it's been growing in popularity over the last 10 years. Here's the caveat. It's growing in popularity over the last 10 years, and more people know about note investing secured by real estate.
That means I can get a lower rate, right?
Well, it means borrowers can get a lower rate, generally speaking, but the investor side of it is that the competition for individual deeds of trust is really, really high. How do we know that? Well, at Pacific Private Money, we have over 300 investors who prefer to invest in trust deeds versus, say, a mortgage pool fund, which we'll talk about in a minute. And fewer of them are seeing, or more and more of them are seeing fewer and fewer opportunities. And in fact, we're going to be doing a series of events promoting our mortgage pool fund in the coming weeks. And many of the audience ask us, hey, do you guys also allow direct note investing? And we have to tell them, well, yes, we do. But guess what? We can't accommodate any new note investors at Pacific Private Money, really. Because at the end of the day, we've got our mortgage pool fund. We also have a buyer of notes that will buy our, say, 9% notes at a 7% note rate and allow us to earn the difference. And compare that with my trustee investors who don't like to accept less than maybe a 1% differential.
Or maybe an 8 or 9% yield.
Yeah, so it's
I'll tell you what,
yeah.
we're going to continue with that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm getting a cane here across my neck that says we have to go to another commercial break. We're going to continue on with that, though. Third trivia question is, which baseball team was known as Murderers Row? That's a famous one, all right? Call 888-912-1190. The first caller with the correct answer is going to win the tanning certificate. Again, which baseball team was known as Murderers Row? When we come back, Mark's going to continue on explaining about what's going on with trustee investing in the competition, and then we'll move on to Rob about the buying down of a mortgage, all right? Stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll wrap it up.
All right. I hate cutting people off, but it got to be.
I love cutting people off in traffic, though.
No, you're the opposite of that. You don't like people cutting you.
No, I know. I'm the
Right?
opposite.
Yeah.
I drive like an old man because I'm driving a Lincoln Continental, and I drive like one. It's just, I put it in cruise mode where it just like floats on the, and it's like, I just watch people go cutting in front of me because I dare leave a couple of cars lengths between me and the guy.
Yeah, but how many accidents do you get into? Not many because of that. Yeah. I know, it's like,
I've seen a lot of crazy drivers lately.
sometimes it's kind of fun to sort of like look at these sports cars and stuff, but I need like a spatula to get in and out of them because it's so hard nowadays, you know?
My dad's going to be 84, and whenever he comes out, that's the thing he bitches about, getting into my BMW. It's, God damn. It's
You
he can still do it, though. I'll give the guy credit.
I want one of those things like they pick you up, put you into the pool.
Yeah, right.
All right, ready?
Yep. 8:48. We got a long one here.
Yeah, a little one. Yeah. Ready, go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Pond, and Rob Spinoza. Hey, you notice how I changed up a little bit there? Okay, so
Change the lineup.
That's right, change the lineup. Which baseball team was known as Murderers Row?
New York Yankees.
Yes.
Yeah.
What year was the main year?
Wasn't it like 26, 27?
27. Very good.
Yeah, 27.
Nice.
I know. That's not, I thought you're not even really the sports guy. That's
No,
pretty
it is, but New York Yankees is kind of playing into my wheelhouse.
Gotcha.
I have a dad, grandfather who were big fans. Yeah.
Big fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, continue on with trustee investing. You were talking about why the competition with what's going on. It's hard.
Well,
to
the
find.
email question was, how do I learn more about trustee investing? Presumably, how do I get into trustee investing? Learning about it, I mean, you can certainly do a Google search on, type in trustee investing, and it'll come up with all kinds of articles. Some of them are government sponsored. California DRE has a great pamphlet on note investing. Although I'll tell you, they have so many, should do this and should do that, and beware this and beware that. And by the time you finish reading it, it'll probably scare you away from note investing. But no, we've it used to be called the best kept secret in investing. Trustee investing in California, and not so much the best kept secret anymore. And it is difficult to find high quality trustees to invest in because the highest quality trustees are being given away to the best clients, the most long-standing clients of most private loan originators. And that's no different with Pacific Private Money. I got you got to come clean and say that's we've got our go-to guys, maybe 30 or 40 different investors that just they can make decisions extremely
That's
quick.
what I was going to say.
They don't run you through the ringer. I mean, that's the thing to get good quality trust deeds, you have to say yes quickly.
They've earned their stripes by a history of having made quick decisions and being able to back it up.
And they know what to look
Yeah.
for. They have a sense for what is a good investment to make, what is a good loan to fund, that is, and what is not, and what a good borrower looks like. And again, they can look at the common metrics that we supply with any offering that we make, and they can make a decision quickly.
I once heard a kind of a joke about that. They were talking about going into a field like, a beginner going into a field that's dominated by investors. It could have been real estate, but the old adage, if you thought you got a good deal, you didn't get a good deal.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I get new investors who call me and say, "Well, I just got this thing from ABC loan originator. It's 12%. It's a first position. How come you guys can't do any of those things?" I said, well, because we would never have made the loan that they're offering you in the first place. And if I were you, I would run the other way and not invest in that. So there's no free lunch.
Would you suggest that to that point, if somebody's getting into trust deed investing, maybe they go into the pool fund first and kind of figure out how that works? Is that a good entry point, or what would you recommend?
I would say so, for a number of reasons. One, you can start out with a smaller amount.
Okay.
And it's diversified.
And you're diversified, right?
Yeah, so you can start earning a return on your investment right away.
So whereas someone who's doing a trust deed investment is investing in a specific note on a specific property, perhaps, if they're going into the pool fund, they're putting their money in, and then you guys are putting that to work for them across a real estate portfolio.
Absolutely, and they're paying us to manage the
Right.
decision-making, the whole process. And they are diversified.
But you would get to know that investor that way. In other words, if they stepped up into note investing and things like that, you would have a history with them that you could develop.
Well, and we have hinted to some people who come to us with lots of money. We've said, well, you know what a lot of people are doing? They're opening up an account with us for maybe a couple $100,000, and then they get in a front row seat to the other notes that we're not doing in the fund, but are still quality notes, and we're making those available to our individual investor clients. So again, for more information, you can always call us. We're happy to explain this to you more. We're at 415-883-2150, or go to pacificprivatemoney.com. We're always adding new pages and new information to our website, and you could get a bunch of information from there. But again, it's a great way to diversify your investment portfolio using mortgage debt, either through a mortgage pool fund like the Pacific Private Money Fund, or through individual trust deeds, which you can get from us or many other quality originators here in California.
Very good. And Rob, let's see here. We got an email that talks about, do most mortgage companies offer a buy down rate anymore?
Yeah, you can do a buy down in almost any loan program. What that means is, so let's say you come in the door today and you ask for a quote on a 30-year fixed rate loan, and the rate is 4%. And then you said, well, I really want to get 3.75%. Do you have that available? The answer is typically yes, we do. But you would have to pay what are known as points up front, or what we call a discount, in order to buy the rate down. That's what you're getting at. So it becomes a math equation. Let's say by going down to 3.75%, you save $50 a month. That's $600 a year. If the investment to get that 3.75 is $2,400, for example, it's going to take you 4 years to recoup that investment. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to buy down that rate? Yes, you're going to have a lower payment. Yes, you're going to have the fancy lower rate that you can brag about at the water cooler. But the investment you make initially, will you recover that? Because if you don't live in the house or you refinance the loan prior to 4 years, you've actually lost money on that investment. So the short answer is yes, you can buy down interest rates, but you have to do the math to make sure it works for your scenario.
How common is that nowadays among your clients?
It's not all that common.
Because of how low rates are?
Yeah, it's because of how low rates are, and it's also because of the fact that we've seen this cycle now for 10 plus years where the rates may go up, they may come down again, and so refinance activity has been really high. And generally, if you invest in a mortgage rate, you could lose it if you refinance and a better opportunity comes along. So, my advice on that generally is that, start with your 0-point rate when you're doing shopping, because lenders will confuse you if you let them. So if you go to one lender, they may say, yeah, my rate's 3.5% in our example, but you're paying 2 points for it. Get everybody on the same page. Hey, what's your 0-point rate? Then you can compare one lender to the next with their lender fees, And then if you want to buy down the rate, you can look into doing so if it works for your scenario.
When the 0 point rate is, let's just say 3.5, for example, because I know rates are fairly low right now at close to historical low levels. Is it more expensive than it was maybe when rates were 5% to buy down the rate, or is it always, or do they change the percentages around?
It varies. So that's a great question, and it's a technical question because when we look at our rate sheet, the buy downs will vary depending on what coupon we're selling into. So when you have, for example, a Fannie Mae backed security, I know it's getting technical. I can see people's, even though we're on the radio, I can see eyes rolling. Yeah, suffice it to say, every day that changes, and it can vary rate to rate. So sometimes you'll see, hey, it only costs you a quarter to get the next eighth lower in interest rate, but then you go another eighth lower than that, it might cost you another 0.5%. So it's not linear, and you have to ask your lender on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. And Rob, again, how do people get a hold of you?
You can reach me. Just do a Google search. Rob Spinoza is my name. I work for Guaranteed Rate. You can go on Yelp. You can go on Google and just look for mortgage broker in Marin. And my phone number is 415-367-5959. Serving all of California.
Very good.
So how are rates this month?
They're great. I mean, rates overall are really good. Most of the quotes we're seeing are in the high threes for 30-year fixed rate loans. They are a little bit higher than they were about a month ago. And they are a lot lower than they were this time last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's really
That's what people need to remember.
All right.
And the only thing we do know is that just about every year when they predict where rates will be a year from now, they're wrong.
That's what's so right about them. Okay, it's like a clock that's broken. It's at least twice. It's right twice.
What is that? Yeah, the saying economists have predicted 9 of the last 11 recessions, or 11 of the last 9 recessions.
All right, and 82.634% of statistics are wrong.
Yeah, we made up.
Anyway, that's going to be back with some closing comments. All right. 2 seconds over.
Oh
no! That's why I always
want my money back.
Beginning. All right, what do we want to talk about last segment?
Fun events?
Yeah, fun events. Yeah, that's right.
I got a curiosity here. Highest priced home in the Bay Area, $40.5 million, 950 Lombard.
No way.
Been on
Is that one of the?
It's a shack.
$40 million?
$40 million. It was reduced from $45 million.
Hey,
That's the most
steal.
expensive on the market right now?
Yeah. Yeah, well, most expensive one in the market in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, yeah. Yeah, because there's land for $95 million on the market. Oh, in Tiburon.
Is that 100?
And then there's another 20.
Oh, is that the one like Reed?
Yeah, the whole ridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then isn't there the one in Southern California for $1 billion? Remember?
Yeah, that's land too, and that's not going anywhere. But there's a house just traded in Southern California for was it 225? Was that the world record or the U.S. record?
I don't know.
$225 million.
Malibu or something like that.
It was in Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Wow.
And there's one.
You seen that one in the deal at Woodside that Matt brought?
I saw you looking at it.
Yeah.
Woodside?
Yeah. I mean, it says here the loan's supposed to be $2.9 million, and it's got a value of 5.6. They must have done something because the values are coming in at, Zillow says it's worth like $2 million, or maybe barely 3, and these other ones are saying it's worth 3.5, which is like 82% LTV.
You're talking about Ross, right? Woodside Way and Ross.
Woodside Way and Ross, yeah.
Woodside Way and Ross.
And they must have done something, but it was like put on the market for, it says here, so it was sold in 2016 for $1.4 million. So they probably put a bunch of work into it. But in September of 2018, for sale for 3.5, didn't move, and they took it off in 2018 at 3.5. Did they do anything between then and now?
So it's a Matt deal, you said?
Yeah, because he said here, Briggs is worth like 5.6 million.
But even if they'd have to completely redo the house for it.
Yeah.
The second time.
It's only a 36.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a 3,600 square foot house. Or no, it's less than that. It's how big is that house? It is. Let's see here. Okay, Zillow says it's worth 3.7. It's 3,600 square feet. So you're talking about $1,600 or $1,700, $1,800 a foot.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's strange.
I don't know. We shall see.
What would you guys typically do on that? You would do a traditional
Is it a
appraisal?
purchase money or is it cash out?
No, I think it's cash out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it says here. Now it says it'll be sold to AO. And let's see. Here's the summary here. It's from Matt. It comes from Paladin Funding. The borrower, Marina Alexandrov, VMA Investments. 2.9 million is what they're asking for the loan, and it's to pay off FJM of 2.4 and give her an extra 400. And they say it's worth 5.63 million.
That's usually pretty good about that stuff. He doesn't get
Yeah.
easily hoodwinked, so
Yeah.
it'd be worth calling him.
Well, here it says newly completed full remodel.
Yeah, Alexandrov. So that's I've seen that on the tape. Yeah, that's on the pipeline. It was one we were looking to close before the end of next week. And sell to AO. And
Yeah.
I think Matt got pre-approval on that.
Okay, yeah, because Red Bell says apparently it's 5.6, so maybe they did complete something fairly new.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's got a 730 FICO. Yeah. I mean, that's the one that you'd only do if AO for sure is going to buy it.
I think I remember Matt bringing this to me and saying it's almost done, and
Yeah.
JM won't extend any additional credit. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, AO has never said they'll do it and then backed out, right? So that's pretty good.
That's good.
Okay.
What are we talking about next?
Fund events.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots
and
of fun.
then give a little thing about like the fund, the rate of return,
A little thing on the fund.
Okay.
Ready?
Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, Edward Brown here along with Nom Fon, Mark Hahn, and Rob Spinoza. Hey, I did that without looking at you guys. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Nom, we have the Pacific Private Money's got one last event coming up.
Yeah, one last event coming up
Hall of
next
Fame, right?
Wednesday,
Yeah.
the night before Hallows Eve.
Hallows Eve.
All
Halloween.
Hallows Eve, yeah.
Yeah, 10:30. That's Walnut Creek at the Embassy Suites. So if you haven't made our previous two, now's your chance. And so don't lose out on this opportunity. Give us a call at 415-883-2150. So far, we've had great turnout.
Yeah.
And after the first one, we had somebody who the next day sent in all the paperwork and will be investing $210,000.
That's great.
It was very well
Yeah.
received, our
Yeah.
first one. We're actually doing our second one tonight, so you can't come, unfortunately, because it will have already happened. But we talked about not only the Pacific Private Money Fund and some of the tax advantages, thanks to the 2018 Tax Act, where 20% of the income you earn from our fund for as long as this tax law is in effect is sheltered,
Yeah.
so you don't pay taxes. So if you earn $10,000 in K1 interest income from our fund, you only pay taxes on $8,000. So not only do you get what's been roughly a 7.6% yield, you get a boosted effective yield from the tax savings on that, which is really nice. And then the second half of the presentation is tax attorney Steve Moskowitz talking about other real estate tax savings strategies that you may have heard about but might not fully understand just how juicy some of these can be and how some of them have also been enhanced thanks to the 2018 Tax Act. So not only just opportunity zones is among them, or some of the other things that
Cost segregation.
cost segregation. If you own commercial real estate, he gets a little bit more into other real estate and business tax strategies that qualify for the 20% QBID, qualified business income deduction.
Which we do want to put a caveat on there that if you're married filing joint, your income has to be under $315,000 in order to, and obviously we tell people to talk to their tax people, but generally speaking, most people are going to get that 20%.
But one of the things I was surprised at is how funny and personable Steve Moskowitz is when he speaks. We've all heard
Wait,
him
are you
for
saying
years
that all
and years.
CPAs are not
Well, he's a tax attorney.
Even better.
Well, yeah, he's a CPA, and then he became a tax attorney. Yeah, that's a double whammy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's both. And, you've heard his commercials for years in the Bay Area, and, sometimes it comes off maybe it's a little bit dry, and, how exciting is you haven't paid your taxes in years, I can help you with the IRS. But actually, he does a lot more than just that. In fact, most of his practice is helping people save money on taxes, helping people actually file and pay their taxes every year, save even more taxes through various legal tax strategies.
Like, we'll give him a little plug here. It's 888 Tax Deal. Nice and simple.
That's right. So come, you got your third and final opportunity to come see us in Walnut Creek on Wednesday
the 30th.
And we have a special MC.
That's right.
A special personality on the radio, not us, who's going to MC the event. It'll be a surprise.
So it's free to come. There are hors d'oeuvres, and it's worthwhile. It's worth your while. We won't bore you to tears. It'll be fun and engaging, and it's great information.
It's MC Hammer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think we should charge $500 a ticket.
It's worth it.
And then, you get all that free tax
I'll just
advice.
surprise your guests at the door with that one. I mean, don't
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can't surprise
He's
them.
got to wear those pants, too.
No, but
I used to have a
Listen, I finally gave up my Angels Flight pants. And, Mom, you're too young to remember. Actually, you're too young.
And your short shorts.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny. You look at
when are we over here? Are we out of time?
Please, are we out of town?
Yeah, please.
Yes, we are.
Jeremy.
Yes, Larry. Okay, here we go. Here's our thoughts of the day. What is the best thing to do when you have a hole in your boat and water's leaking inside? Make another hole to drain the water out.
That's Three Stooges.
And he who laughs last didn't get the joke. Yeah. I have one of those unlimited cell plans, cell phone plans. There's no limit to how much they can charge me. All right, tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long.
That's a wrap.
So wrap.
Yay.
That's a wrap.
World Wraps.
World Wraps. That's a good place. I haven't been there for a while.
They used to be a sponsor.
That's right.
On the radio show?
For a while they did.
Oh, cool.
A long time
Yeah,
ago.
they
So
had
they got bought out by another company.
Yeah.
So we have a scenario. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with this, but we've got a refinance going. The appraiser goes out, does the appraisal, and the pool is unfilled. It looks like a disaster.
yeah.
It looks like a bomb crater. It's not a pool.
We did that. We did one of those.
So conventional lender won't touch it.
Really?
Oh, we loved it.
So well, the thing is she can't go.
12%, 10 points.
Yeah,
right?
she can't go into private money loan. So I have this guy that's a handyman, comes by the property every once in a while to work on our fences and stuff. I had him go out there and look at it. He's going to do a plywood cover, with framing underneath it, and the lender says they'll accept that. So he just got me a quote today on it. He said it's going to cost about $2,500 in material and labor to do it.
For what now?
To
He's
put
gonna
framing and a cover.
Yeah, he's going to
To frame up a...
Yeah.
Just fill it in with dirt.
that would be even more, don't you think?
I'm
To fill in a pool with dirt?
Sand.
Well, I don't think you'd want to do it if it's completely unsalvageable.
I don't know.
You're not
I
giving
can
the
just look at the
homebuyer
pictures and
opportunity.
it looks bad, but
I wonder if the same thing happened. We did this many, many years ago, and what had happened was a guy inherited the home from mom and said, I'm going to remodel. So he goes ahead and guts everything, and he drains the water out of the pool for not realizing you ain't supposed to do that because of the
pool popped
and
up.
This thing looked like a war zone.
Yeah.
And so there was no way. I mean, it was uninhabitable at that point.
Yeah, I was on the board at Larkspur Isle, the condos behind the health club, and we replaced that pool in 2014 or 2015, I forget when. But we used to have owners come and say, I just drained the damn thing, and we had a contractor in the one. He said, you drain that thing gonna because it's not Bay mud. That thing will shoot into the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, and then you'll have a demo project, and with a hole in the ground. So
pool pops out and the guy goes, shit, runs the hose on, turns it on, tries to
fill it back
sink
up.
it back down.
No,
Shoot, man.
take it back in the pool. But anyway, I don't know if the borrower's going to go for it.
It's kind of expensive, but what other choices they
I
got?
don't have other choices.
What happened, Mr. Brown?
Oh, I had this all pre-done.
I my
Yeah,
check.
don't worry. I
Yeah.
had this all planned, and now I got to type all this in all over again.
I hate when that happens.
I hate it when a plan doesn't come together.
Yeah.
All right. One approval.
Okay, so this is BOI for October 26, 2019 in promo for November 2.
Bring it back on. Oh, I'm down to 29%.
What's that?
Oh, my battery is.
Oh.
Plug it in and bring it back. Gold sponsorship.
Really late. Make sure you
All right.
get
I'll get back to you on November too.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that month looks like.
Uh,
All right, gentlemen.
yeah, we already have someone for the last one, which is on a Monday,
Okay.
just before Thanksgiving.
Hasta luego.
Thanks, Rob.
All right,
See you, Rob. Thanks, man.
I'm a window guy, a window company. Guy who owns a window company.
Oh.
Would you want to have him on the show?
Yeah,
Articulate.
kind of save on, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Window guy.
What's
So-
that from? The voice sounds like it's from somewhere.
Window guy. It's my bad impression of cable guy. That was Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, that was a weird movie.
Yeah, it was weird.
Gonna send this to.
Are those Ruddles there, or could you own those
Reynolds?
across the way there?
They're apartments.
Thinking about moving?
No, but I'm like, if you're single and lives downtown Santa Fe, that's
Yeah,
not a bad
That
spot
would, yeah,
to be.
no, not at all. You got the sun coming down. You got
Yeah.
a place to stow your bike out on the porch there.
Yeah.
Go down to the farmer's market, hang out.
Yeah, the farmers market just ain't the
It
same.
wasn't as good as it was
I haven't
20
been
years
there
ago.
so long to Santa Fe. I haven't been to the Nevada one.
Yeah, the new
Take
Nevada
a
one
walk.
where they cram it behind the CBS
Yeah.
market just doesn't look right.
The one on Sunday's pretty good. You know,
Sunday,
that
yeah.
was
in the,
huge. That was
Yes.
that one's really good. So,
Last Sunday.
I have I put together a little spreadsheet. I wanted to go over what we have a little bit of time, right? I mean, because we don't have to be there for like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Half a day.
And
Why did we get together so early?
Yeah.
turn this thing.
We got planning. Another day.
Well,
Monday,
let's
Tuesday.
there so I can
What's that?
take a nap in one of the rooms. What time is it?
Actually, we should probably call Rick. Let's call Rick real fast about that. He'll know about it. We'll talk about that Woodside thing first.
Thank you for calling Private Money. Would like
Gotta get Andrea back.
Yeah. Well, we did.
What's that?
Yeah, because the phony calls we were getting.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again, and people from all over the country were calling us, telling us to stop calling them.
A lot of them sound like.
Hi, this is Ryan. How can I help you?
Ryan, Edward, how are you?
Hey, Edward. Good. How's it
Good.
going?
Good. I got the boys here. We were hoping Rick was still there.
Yeah. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. I'll send you over.
Okay, thank you. You guys having problems with the notification of deposits? You know that, right? The notification of deposits? You're having problems with that. Hey, Rick, I got Mark and Nam here.
Sorry.
Sorry. So the topic is the Woodside on Ross.
Yeah.
So did they do like a bunch of work like in the last 9 months?
Yeah.
They must have, because everyone thinks it's only worth about 3.8
Yeah, bullshit.
Four.
Not a chance.
Don't swear. We're finishing up the last 2 minutes of YouTube here before I have to turn it off.
Oh,
Oh, great.
So you're on.
That's star. No, they did. It's a full-blown remodel. We did the acquisition. She approached us for some of the work about a year and a half ago, then came back. Lewis did it.
Yeah.
Ended up going in there. So that money went into the rehab. So we have information all over the board that this thing is way above what you're seeing on the net.
Gotcha.
The
Because
property.
3,600 square feet, you're talking $1,800 a foot roughly, or something like that. Or
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at least 1,500. We've seen it at 1,700 a foot in Ross.
Yeah. I mean, if it's been full blown, remodel. And you said, and so AO's already approved that one?
Not yet. It's in front of them, but I'm sure they will. I look at the credit profile. You've got pretty good credit.
Yeah.
You've got overall good package. You've got employment outside of the body of the project she does.
Okay.
So there's excess. There's other cash flow here.
Okay.
The only negative I saw was she used some of the credit debt to do this. So
Yeah.
that she's extracting here was money she borrowed from a friend who yanked it out of her IRA, which is the reason for this speed drill.
Gotcha.
Finish any work, the work is done.
Okay. And then she is just planning on selling it?
Yep.
Okay. That's actually
Fine.
good. Will she be able to make the monthly payment?
Huh?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I think she can make a monthly payment.
all right. And the other guy in the Oakland one for the warehouse, that you're going to make sure that AO is already
Yeah,
getting
it's in
approval on.
AO. I got ping them, but what is it, 6 o'clock there? I'm probably not going to hear from
Yeah.
them till the morning.
Okay.